Come to the last of our slides on the alphabet soup, which is the E for environmentalism. So that is actually the movement and the social consciousness of and philosophical underpinnings of what we do when we have a relationship with our environment on in an activist way. We are thinking of conserving, of improving. We are thinking in terms of political application, industrial and economic contexts. And this is relatively new as well, just as ecology is. There have been a number of people, however, in the past that have shown us what it means to be an environmentalist. There's, for instance, Arab writers who have already warned of environmental pollution, or Benjamin Franklin, for instance, who spoke against the pollution that the tanneries in the commercial center of Philadelphia produced, or John Muir, the Englishman who is behind the establishment of the Yosemite National Park, or and also founded the Sierra Club, or Rachel Carson, the writer in the 60s who spoke in her book Silent Spring of the harrowing aftermath of nuclear devastation. We have had a renaissance of environmentalism in the last maybe 5 years or so. And I think at this time there is no excuse. There is many ways of how we can find a venue that speaks to us when it comes to embracing this active role that we can play in environmentalists' aspects. And I think that the what happens in Copenhagen, which will be the big follow-up conference to the Kyoto Accord, is direct change and response to, not change, but response to environmentalism. So the color that's connected with environmental concerns is green. The words are eco-friendly, organic. We have an Earth Day. We speak of sustainability and of recycling. And that brings me to the end of my alphabet soup. I see that you've been very busy on the chat board, and I'm happy to take a look at that. So what's new, what's there to do? It's overwhelming, the future state of affairs. I think I'd like to throw this open now to question and answers. We can use some of these topics that I've put up, or just listen to your thoughts at this particular point. And please have some comments or feedback or questions now.
Thank you, Leonora. Yes, I just wanted to make a comment on your wonderful topic, that in Toronto, I don't know if this exists anywhere else, anyone, please let me know, but in Toronto they just started maybe 2 months ago that stores, grocery stores, mostly grocery stores, even large grocery stores, the big chains or the small neighborhood chains, they are now charging customers 5 cents for a plastic bag. So and that's about time I'd say, well overdue, but it's something that affects pretty much anyone who's buying food, and so I think actually I was just shopping in my corner store for groceries, and I think she did charge me actually 5 cents. but I usually do carry, because the one that I carry with me always was full, so I didn't have a choice. But I do carry a nylon bag with me all the time, and so anyway, I'm just curious if that exists anywhere else.
Hi, Leonor. I was just wondering, what is it that you would advise companies? And I understand you're also a speaker. I'm just interested to know more about that.
Thank you, Tara. The work that I do with organizations has actually everything to do with culture. And that's an interesting statement because I can pretty well bring garbage and refuse culture into my conversation, although that's not what I do for a living. What I do for a living is I provide an understanding and support to individuals who change from one culture to the other. In other words, people in international businesses, diversity in immigration countries, and support for global organizations who have a reach that goes far beyond their own country and their own region. Now, bring this into the context of environment, and I remember the many observations that I had in countries where people work very differently with, for instance, garbage. Mexico, I'm sure some people have heard or experienced up until recently, had so much marine rubbish that it was hurting the industry, the tourist industry. Or India, for instance, where garbage gets recycled at least 3 or 4 times, and yet at the end seems to be left by the wayside, as if now it's no longer of use to anyone, let's just leave it where it is. Or again, India, for a resource to heat, you have cow paddies made from straw and cow dung. You have a variety of recycling when it comes to your organic refuse that goes into the little barn where there's a cow or goats or what have you. Very interesting how, cross-culturally speaking, to environmental issues and environmental relationships are certainly not the same as they are in a Western or in a northern country. Well, not north, but in a developed country. I hope that helps, Tara.